In early 2005, a new take on a DBZ game would be made. Instead of the traditional fighting game that the last three had been, this one would be more of an adventure game. It would be known as Dragon Ball Z Sagas. In the view of many fans, this would be known as the worst PS2 Dragon Ball Z game. As this is an adventure game, it revolves around the story mode, but it only goes up to Cell. The story is told through a combination of in-game events as well as bits of the show itself with narration. This would be the only game to use the animated scenes from the show to tell the story. As the only enemies you fight couldn't be the main villains, you fight hordes of Cybermen, Frieza's soldiers, and prototype androids. These enemies make sense when you fight them, and they don't really go too far as a stretch to make enemies, so it works. The start of the problems with this game is the graphics. First are the character models. The graphics went back to being computer generated in the style similar to Budokai 1, but not as well made. Another issue are the animations themselves. Every character shares the same animations. The attacks themselves are also very similar. Apart from the color, almost every attack is the same. Only a few are any different. Also, the character only has one attack. The only characters that get more than one special are the villains, but you can't play as them. Any fans of Raditz, Nappa, Raccoon, Birder, Jace, Ginyu, Frieza, 17, 18, 19, Gero, Cell, too bad. The controls aren't terrible, but they feel stiff. Though a big problem is after you've locked onto an enemy, you'll be unable to move normally. You'll only be able to dash around. This basically makes learning teleport as early as possible mandatory to be able to move towards your opponent with any speed. The sound in general is less than stellar. Something seems off about the playback on the voices, but mainly the music just doesn't fit at all. The camera is horrible. You are unable to control it, so what it gives you is what you got. This can cause your target to wander off screen and keep you from attacking it, while still allowing it to attack you. This problem is even worse in two-player mode as the camera must focus on both characters. If one runs off, you can get pulled out of a combo from the camera pulling your character towards your partner. A large glitch is in two-player mode at sometimes after getting revived or being teleported toward your partner, you will be unable to move. This will last until you either teleport towards an enemy or get hit. The difficulty on this game is too high, but for the wrong reasons. When fighting enemies with long-range attacks, you can get stuck trying to move from the sheer amount of stuff that will be flying your way. If you have some energy, you might be able to fire off a special before it can hit you, but you'll have a hard time getting enough time to charge if you don't. The other problem is bosses have way too much health. Even on normal, the amount of damage it will take to kill a boss is too high. The damage they cause is also way up there. This imbalance punishes the player for every mistake they make to the point where unless you play perfectly, you're going to have trouble winning. This problem is only made worse by the fact that there's no way to increase your damage, and the only way you can increase your health is by small bits. Your health does not keep up with the damage increases of your enemies either. The only real plus of this game is the ability to play as one-armed future Gohan. This is the only game that allows you to do this, but it's ruined by the fact he still uses some of the same animations of every other character. This means he still uses an arm he doesn't have sometimes. As the only game that isn't a fighting game, it's incredibly disappointing that it was so horrible. Even worse is the failure of this game will lower the chance of another adventure type game being made, which is a shame.